Alright, good everyone. Welcome back to today's class. Now this is going to be a practical class, and before we proceed, remember to like, remember to share, comment, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, now in this practical class, we are going to be creating a web page that we are going to be switching between two images using the JavaScript. Alright, so this web page is going to, what we want this web page to do is to switch between two images using JavaScript. Alright, so let's practice. So come to your Visual Studio Code, and this is the output. And in this my Visual Studio Code here, in this folder I take JavaScript. I have two images. One is what's Bob on, the other one is Bob off.png. You can see the extension there. Alright, or you see it here. Okay, so we have this Bob on and we have this word Bob off. Alright, so I have these two images which I downloaded online, and this is my HTML file here. Alright, so let's proceed. So center, then image. I don't need this alternate attribute. I'm just going to change it to ID. Then for the source, so for the source, Bob on, we are going to have our image here. You can see the Bob on image. You can see the Bob on image. You can see it in our web page here. Alright, the Bob on image. Then a break line. Then I'm going to be having two buttons, and this should be turn Bob on or turn on Bob. Alright, then I'm going to duplicate that, and this should be turn off Bob. Alright, so we have turn on Bob and we have turn off Bob, and I'm going to be using the onClick event to call the function that we are going to be using later. So onClick, so we can say on or turn on. Alright, then here onClick, turn off. Alright, so when we click on this button, it's going to trigger, it's going to call this function turn on. When we click on the next button, it's going to call this function turn off. Alright, so let's see our output here. So you can see turn on and what, turn off. Alright, okay, so after this, I'm going to be creating my internal scripts, and I'm going to be creating the function. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Remember to create a function, the function keyword, then your function name. Okay, then before the function, I'm going to be doing this document or get element by ID. I'm going to be getting this image by its ID, and yeah, I forgot to add it an ID. I forgot to give it an ID. Okay, so let's give it an ID. Let's say the ID should be let's say Bob. Okay, so document.get elements by what, ID, and yeah, we say the ID should be, the ID is what's Bob. Alright, the ID is Bob, as you can see. Then I'm going to assign this to a variable, and let's say the variable should be Bob. Alright, then inside this function here, I'm going to be saying Bob, which is now holding the what, the element. Alright, remember we use this to access this element by its ID. Now we assign it to what, Bob. So whenever we call this Bob, or whenever we are using this variable Bob, it means that we are also what, using this. Alright, so Bob dot the source should be equal to, okay, this function should be turned off because we already have the Bob on. Remember, this white is for on. So yeah, I'm going to be changing this function to off. That means for this button first. Alright, So here inside the source, I'm going to be saying, let's check the name again, bob of.png. Alright, so bob of, let's check the spelling correct, so that we avoid mistake, .png. Alright, so very simple, and let's see. Okay, so let's click on our turn off button. Okay, so now you can see the other image what appeared, which is this. Alright, so let's go back and let's refresh and click on the turn off button. You can see this. Okay, so I'm going to be advancing this, but before I go ahead, take a good look at the code once more. Okay, we have the image and we have the two buttons. All right, and the two buttons have their what different call functions, and this button is for the what is going to call this turn off function, which is this. All right, and before calling the function, I got the image element by its what id, which is bob, and I assign it to this variable here, bob. And now I'm saying this inside this function, meaning when they call on this function, right, inside the function, the source of the bob should be what, bob of dot what png. So it's no longer going to be this bob on dot png. It's going to be what, bob of dot png, which is our second image here, right, which is our next image there. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate this function also, and let's create for the on function. So turn, instead of turn off now, I'm going to be saying turn on. Alright, then yeah, instead of bob off, it should be bob on. Remember our bob on image is what, bob on dot png. Alright, so this is going to change the source of this image, and this also changing the source of this image, and we are assigning two different images to it. For this function, the off image; for this, the on image. Okay, now let's click on turn off, click back on, turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off, turn on. All right, so you can see. All right, now I want to advance this a little bit. So when we click on turn off, we are going to change the background color to what, black, so it actually like works what I want in mind. All right, so yeah, I'm going to be saying okay, for the turn off, we can give the body a class name, then get the element by the class name, or give it an id. Okay, but to expand our memory, I'm going to be using the document or query selector. So yeah, I'm going to be saying document.query selector, so it's going to be global, then yeah, body. All right, so it's going to, remember, the query selector is going to what, access the first element, all right, that matches this selector, and the first element is what, this. All right, so here we are going to be saying let body equal to this. All right, and yeah, body, remember the body is the body of our document, and it's holding all other elements. All right, so when I say the body background color style, when I change the background color of the body, just the way you know in css, it's going to affect the entire web page. All right, so let's do that. So style, then inside the style we have the background color, also background color property. Look at it, then we say the background color should be black. All right, so let's see. Okay, so now you can see background color black. All right, if I should refresh, background color black. All right, now if this bulb is now switch back to white, turn on, then we should also be able to change the background color to what, white also. So I'm going to copy this line of code, and in this turn on function here, I'm going to what, paste it back, paste it also. All right, then here, instead of black, I'm going to change it to what, white. So whenever the turn on function is being what, called, is going to change the source to the bob on.png, RG, and it's also going to change the background color to what? White. Then if it's the turn off, we are going to still have this bulb off, and then the background color should be what? Black. Okay, so let's maximize. I'm using go live, so there's no need to what? Refresh, or you can also what? Refresh. Either ways. Okay, so let's click on bulb off. Click on bulb on. You can see. All right. So now I'm going to be adding a transition effect. So this looks more beautiful to me. All right. It's going to look more beautiful to me. Then let me say let me come here and say body dot style. Remember the transition effect is still under the CSS styling. So transition, and we can say transition to be, let's say, 3 seconds. All right. Then I'm still going to do this when they off it also. All right. So let's see. Now you can see the transition effect. Now you can see the transition effect. Alright, so you can change it to any seconds of your choice. You can say 5 seconds. You can still reduce the seconds. You can increase the seconds depending on your own choice. Alright, you can see. Okay. I think this is okay. And we can still go to give some little styling to this image. So let's come here and say style, the tag, then we can use the ID. We can use the ID, which is Bob, and we can say object fit. Then we can say contain, then width. We can say the width should be, let's say, 500 pixels. We can say height should be, let's say, 300 pixels, and let's add a padding. Let's say padding should be, let's say, 50 pixels. All right. Okay, so let's see. Okay, now you can see. All right, you can style your buttons also to look more beautiful. All right, so you can style your buttons to look more beautiful. I'm going to just leave this like this. All right, so let's see. Okay, you can reduce this padding here, or you can remove it, your choice. Let's remove it so we see. Okay, so you can remove the padding. All right, you can add a margin top. Then what else? Let's see. Okay, let's reduce the seconds to, let's say, two. Okay, so look at the code once more. All right. Okay, so you can do more to this. You can add more effect to this. All right, you can add more effect to this. You can manipulate this more and more and more. All right. But be able to achieve this. Make sure you are able to achieve this. As you can see, it is very simple, easy, and straightforward. So make sure you achieve this. Switch between the two images and to turn the bulb off, or to turn the bulb on. All right. So you can see it, and you can see the code. All right. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel